It started with a crime, a quiet neighbourhood, a late night interview. But somehow, that's not what people remembered. The crime should have been the story. A brutal, senseless act in a quiet cul-de-sac that had never known more excitement than a lost cat poster or a rogue sprinkler soaking passers-by. By morning, the crime scene tape stretched taut across Willow Heights' prettiest street, flashing red and blue lights reflected off car windows and the shocked eyes of onlookers. But it wasn't the crime that gripped the world. It was Sarah Carmichael. Sarah, a retired teacher with a penchant for jigsaw puzzles and low-carb muesli, had gone to bed early that night. She was wearing her favourite mismatched plaid flannel pajamas, a red and blue top and green and yellow bottoms, chosen more for comfort than cohesion. Her nightly ritual was as predictable as it was precious. Chamomile tea at 8:30, a few pages of her latest historical novel, and lights out by 9:15. The knock at her door shortly before 1 a.m. shattered her peaceful routine. She shuffled to the door, squinting against the light of the porch lamp, her hair in a frazzled halo that defied gravity and reason. On the other side of the door stood a young reporter, microphone in hand, her face a mix of urgency and polite professionalism. Beside her, a cameraman adjusted his focus, the camera lens gleaming like an unblinking eye. "Ma'am?" the reporter began, her voice low but hurried. "Sorry to disturb you at this hour. We're covering the incident down the street. Did you hear or see anything unusual tonight?" Sarah blinked at them, momentarily dazed. "I'm sorry, what incident?" The reporter hesitated, clearly weighing how much detail to reveal. "A crime, ma'am. Just a few doors down." "Huh?" Sarah echoed, her voice still thick with sleep. "Hang on," she gestured vaguely at herself, a half smile breaking through her confusion. "Let me get my robe." And with that, she closed the door. The local news station aired the clip the next morning, sandwiched between grim footage of the crime scene and interviews with law enforcement. Sarah's brief appearance, wild-haired, sleepy-eyed, and clad in flashing flannel, should have been a forgettable aside in an otherwise serious broadcast. Instead, it became the moment. By lunchtime, the clip had hit social media, and by dinner, it was everywhere. A TikTok user captioned it, "When it's midnight, but you still gotta look cute." Another added, "Crime scene or not, the robe is non-negotiable." The hashtag #LetMeGetMyRobe began trending almost immediately. The crime itself, a brutal and perplexing act, faded into the background of public consciousness as the internet's insatiable appetite for irony took over. Comedians seized the moment. A sketch on a popular late-night show reenacted the clip with exaggerated flair. The host, playing Sarah, opened the door in garish pajamas, gasped and slammed it shut with the now iconic line, "Hang on, let me get my robe." The audience roared. A stand-up comic quipped in his Netflix special, "Next time I get pulled over, I'm going to hit the cop with a 'let me get my robe.' What are they going to do? Arrest me?" Even sitcoms got in on the act. One particularly meta show reimagined a courtroom drama where a witness interrupted her own testimony to say, "Hang on, let me get my robe," before walking off screen. The laugh track erupted on cue. Sarah, blissfully unaware of her sudden fame, spent the morning sipping coffee and flipping through the paper. She didn't own a smartphone. Too distracting, she said. And her old desktop computer was reserved for playing online Scrabble and the occasional email. She caught wind of the frenzy later on that day when a neighbour told her about it over the fence. Sarah immediately went online and was shocked to see what the internet was doing with this. A TikTok user uploaded the clip with the caption, "When you're about to spill the tea, but you're not properly dressed. #LetMeGetArobe." Within hours, the video was trending. Memes flooded Twitter. Firstly, a picture of Sarah mid-shuffle with the text, "2025 energy. I'll deal with the drama later after I get my robe." A photo of a bathrobe over a crime scene outline. "Fashion police reporting live" was the second one. Another one was a fake Amazon interview for a robe. 5 stars. Perfect for interviews at 2 a.m, the review read. By the end of the day, the hashtag #LetMeGetArobe was the top trending hashtag, and Sarah Carmichael, a woman who still forwarded chain emails to her family, had become an overnight sensation. Sarah's sudden notoriety brought some odd moments to her otherwise quiet life. At the grocery store, a teenager in a hoodie approached her, phone in hand. "Hey, aren't you going to go get your robe?" "I don't know what you're talking about," Sarah replied, her tone clipped but polite. Even her siblings couldn't resist poking fun at her during their weekly get-together. "Well," her brother teased as Sarah arrived, "you didn't bring your robe, did you?" Months later, the frenzy began to die down. The internet moved on to new distractions. A cat that could meow the Korean national anthem, and a viral dance involving chicken nuggets. Sarah's life returned to normal, though the occasional knowing chuckle from a neighbour reminded her that the moment in the spotlight wasn't entirely forgotten. In a rare interview for a local magazine, Sarah reflected on the whole ordeal with a bemused detachment. "It's absurd," she said. "All I did was get a robe. People have far too much time on their hands." When asked if she'd ever consider capitalizing on her fame, merchandise, endorsements, maybe even a book deal, Sarah waved the idea away. "Oh heavens no, I'm too old for that nonsense." Instead, she went back to her jigsaw puzzles and quiet evenings, grateful for the comfort of her routine. For everyone else though, "Let me get my robe" became shorthand for life's universal desire to approach chaos on one's own terms. It was a meme, a punchline, a fleeting moment in a culture obsessed with fleeting moments. And while the crime itself remained unsolved, the world learnt an important lesson from Sarah Carmichael. When faced with the unexpected, there's always time to get your robe. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Your support helps me create more content just like this. And if you're in the mood for more, check out these videos coming up right here.